Are we live?
We are live.
Oh, we're live. Okay,
We
hi. Hey, everyone, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is the Loshak and the Bag Show. Coming to you from SBR Sports Picks. I couldn't hear Larry's countdown. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't hear Larry's countdown, but it's okay. Things are good.
Things are good.
Things are good, Jimmy the Bag. I'm rolling in MLB, Jim.
You certainly are.
You know, feel free to, I know this is like a kind of a humble brag, but feel free. Anything I say that makes sense to you, bam, tail it. You know what I'm saying? No problem. You know, I do that with you. I did that all in the NHL. Remember Pittsburgh when you were like, Pittsburgh's going to go on a big run? And I was like, I believe Jim's right about this one. And you were picking them on the puck line every day. And I was following up your analysis with, you know what? I'm going to go on that one too. Bam, Pittsburgh -1, Pittsburgh -1. I stacked a bunch of NHL units doing that, right, Jim?
Yeah, you're straight fire right now, man. I love seeing it. It's helping balance out my shittiness.
Well, no, you're just that. Well, there's a lot that we could talk about in terms of. I think there's some things that you do really, really well. You have a great read on contrarian plays, as I've said. Remember when what was that MLB play that you had? Oh, it was the Cole game, right? Cole against Sale. Remember that? I said, what did I say to you in the show? You guys go back and see it in the show. I said, Jimmy. The one play that you're doing right now in general is these contrarian plays, and when you identify a play on a play that seems contrarian, it's money. That one soared way over. I said it before the show. While we were doing the show, I was like, these are the kinds of plays that you're right about, and it cashed easily. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. It's a long season. I believe that I can get my shit back together.
Yep. In April 19th, I was down 11.5 units in MLB. Unreal, right?
Yes, and I was up 17 something units at one point.
That's how this shit goes. And as I've said many times, handicapping games can have great value, but handicapping handicappers can have as much value as handicapping games. If you can get a good read on what a handicapper does well, or in other circumstances does poorly, and you tail or fade him accordingly, that is as valuable as actually handicapping the games directly yourself, right, Jim?
I hear you, man. I hear you. And anybody who's been fading me lately, and I'm sure there have been a few, have been very successful.
All right, so what's the first comment that you got here? As you know,
I got my man Dennis Garcia saying, "What's up, low bag cappers?"
Good. I see King Rail. Good afternoon, King Rail. Let me just check what the line movement is in that WNBA game, because I did give two plays on the WNBA game in the morning show, but I was just very concerned. I didn't understand why the initial line move at least was in the favor of Atlanta. I just want to quickly check where the line is now, and it's headed back up just a little bit. There was a 1.5-point line move in favor of Atlanta. Didn't make much sense. Let me just quickly check what the first half line is. I gave that one. Yeah, all right. So I gave the first half, Jim, at -3, and now it's up to 3.5 or 4 at bookmaker. So I think I did the right thing doing that one. Once again in the morning show, I gave Connecticut first half -3. And I bet that one now it's down to up to 3.5 or 4. And I did also give the Atlanta team total under at 78.5, and that's probably, I think, still available. Atlanta just a team that just doesn't have very many scoring options, and even though Connecticut plays high scoring games, it's usually because they blow the other team out, and they'll win like 100-70. And the game will go over, but the other team will go under their team total, and Connecticut will cover by 20 points. And that's what might happen tonight. Well, I've given 2 picks on that game. We're going to get into a MLB. Let's just quickly check.
Before we do, there are some comments that we got to hammer.
Please.
Robert says, "Today I got a son. I have 50 people in the house.
Whoa.
But it is time for the Loshak in the Bag show.
Shit.
You guys rule. Best from Slovenia."
Oh, shit. Wow.
How dope is that?
They got some big-ass families up in Slovenia, Jim.
Hey, man,
50
Slovenia
people in
is
the
the
house.
truth,
Wow.
man. That's a place I want to go, man.
Great comment.
Let's get Pete some citizenship there.
Absolutely, Jimmy the Bag. I'll go there. First day I get citizenship, I'll set up my Tinder account and maybe start tweeting about my...
Get that family of 50. Congratulations,
Yes.
Robert. Much love. And Kingu, AB About Business, says, "Love this show. Been watching for 2 years. First time commenting. Love this show. Thank you for commenting.
Yes.
Thank you for being a part of Team Lowbag, my man."
One thing I did want to say is that in the morning show, we were very rushed. We just didn't have a chance. I would love to address every single comment that people make, but because we only have an hour, it seems like a lot, but it's really not, and we have to cover all the games and give all the analysis. A lot of comments just zoom on by that we don't get to, but I do want you to know that we love every comment. I do watch the shows afterwards and see a ton of comments that I wish I had been able to address, including this morning's show. And so to anyone who, if we feel like we're ignoring you or feels like we are not noticing your comments, that is absolutely not true. It's just we're trying to juggle all the balls here, trying to provide entertainment, trying to provide love, yes, trying to deal with haters, and of course doing analysis and giving picks. And it's just a lot of shit to get to. So if we don't address your comments, it's not apt. We would love to be able to address every single comment. Am I speaking for you as well, Jim?
You are,
Of
and
course.
and juggling balls sounds like your Eiffel Tower magic from yesterday. We'd like to give a big shout out to King about business. Love this show. Been watching for 2 years. First time commenting, and then he says, even got my brother watching this show now. Love you guys and your honesty. Giving plays takes a lot of balls.
Yes, it certainly does. It certainly does. I'll tell you right now. It's me being up 30 units in MLB, 30 units in NHL. Very, very easy to be honest. You know it's not easy, Jim? Talking about how I'm down 30 units in NBA. That's not easy, but I do it anyway. You know why? In the name of honesty.
I hear you.
You hear me, Jim? All right, you feel me, Jim? All right, let's see. Antoine Seymour says, what up, Jimmy and Pete? Here to watch the greatest show on the web. Pow! Leche, Antoine Seymour. Guy gives a lot of great comments, but rarely says this is a great show. But look at that. Bam! Thank you so much, Antoine Seymour. All right, let's quickly get into the comments. There was just a comment from Anthony Yell that I wanted to address. Let's get into MLB. I've given a lot of plays I didn't give that many plays, but I have a lot of leans. There's a lot of plays that were leans in the morning show that I do think I'm going to add. And of course, one of the big games we discussed in the morning show was the Yankees and Toronto game. You know, two very, very vulnerable starting pitchers. Jimmy the Bag was thinking about going on the over. I was like, be careful. The roof is open and there's a wind blowing in. So Jimmy the Bag held off. Now, did you see the news? The roof is closed.
Yes.
So that changes things, doesn't it, Jim?
It does. And also, big old number 99 is not going to be in the lineup for the Yankees. Judge will not be in the lineup.
Oh, shit, really?
Yes, and he's doubtful, as Kobe says. But really, he had 8 strikeouts last game.
That's not as bad as it would be for other teams, right?
You're right. You're right. And to be honest with you, regardless of Judge, and the line has gone down with the announcement that this might be happening.
Which you expect.
Also, this was a bet I made, and I felt uncomfortable all afternoon not having a bet I made be an official pick, just because of the mixed emotions you get while watching the game. And Darcy Cretchen still going under on Yanks-Jays. I'm not. I want to back up what I bet, and even if it loses, I just. I'll be more comfortable. It'll be easier for me to sleep at night. And so I would like to add that show. We don't need to do it just yet. I'd like to add those bets. We can do it when we're ready. Glenn Kelly saying, loving the low bag show from Sydney, Australia, our buddy Glenn Kelly.
Do you know how awesome Australia is as a country, Jim, and New Zealand?
I've only imagined how nice it is. I've never been there before.
God, that would be my dream, to just do 2 weeks of the low bag show from Australia and then 2 weeks of the low bag show from New Zealand. Oh, God.
That would be nice.
Oh, God, that would be so wonderful. Yes, huge shout out to Glenn Kelly, loving the low bag. Thank you so much, Glenn Kelly. Other comments coming here. Let me see. Marty Muerte says, haha, I watch the show at 0.75 speed sometimes to catch everything. Look, we try to talk as fast as we can. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of shit to cover here, Jim.
And with that total, I don't mean to go back to the total in the race, but when I said it is going to be 56 degrees, and you thought I was nitpicking.
Well, versus 60 degrees,
No, that's a difference maker. That's why I expect.
Okay.
To me, it is. If you're going to have a game outdoors in Canada and it's going to start at 56 degrees, then yeah, it's going to be down to 53, 52 by the end of the game.
Later on.
And so I did think that was a valid statement and not nitpicking. You know, man?
No, okay, but on the weather report that I was seeing, it said it was going to open at 60 and then close at 56. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, maybe in Canada, that is the point. Maybe they do have an actual an automated temperature where they will always close the roof at a certain temperature.
It's cold on the lake, man. You're right on the lake there, Lake Ontario. The weather, it comes in. I mean,
that's true.
In CFL, we moved outside, right? We left the Rogers Center and we play at BMO Field, and it's gorgeous. In the summertime, it's heaven. And then soon as it gets near October, November, that wind is freezing cold.
No, you're right. And we did see that I told you there was going to be wind coming in, so that means the wind chill factor might have been. You're absolutely right, Jim. I apologize for being so patronizing.
It's all good, man. Yes. Mr. Gokster says, I'm outside with my toucan and mitts. She's cold.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice.
Brooksy
Awesome.
says it's hot as balls in Dallas right now.
Cove Corleone says, Jim is the man. Pete, you be off the Xanax. LOL. Absolutely. You're right, Cove Corleone. I'm not on any Xanax right now. I'll tell you that for damn sure. No Xanax. I have not taken Xanax today. Not one. Not a half. Not nothing. No Xanax at all. I do have some at home, but I didn't take any. All right, let's see. What else do we have here, Jimmy the Bag?
And Kobe says, Pete, it has to be 15 Celsius or over to keep the dome open.
Yes. I mean, I'm sure that in 2018, the stuff is just automated so that, there's no like lower level guy who can make some fucking mistake and keep the roof open when it's 20 degrees. Absolutely right. I take it all back. You're absolutely right.
Parlay Poppy, whom I've loved my whole time down here. Every comment he said until yesterday with the horse love comment. That was the first time, Parlay Poppy, where... I didn't absolutely love what you had to say. But he says, absolutely not on the under first 5. Team total over Yanks. Easy.
All right, let's see. Mally Mal says, Blue Jays bullpen taught unders are rare. Sunday against Detroit, 0-0 after 5-8-4 after 7. That seems like it's a great comment from Mally Mal. Very informative. I just can't understand what is he saying that the Blue Jays bullpen is going to be good tonight or bad tonight. I was still thinking about the under on the second half in that one, but now I'm going to review it again when we discuss this show. Let's see.
My man Rez Mob says dynamic motherfucking duo, way more show per pound than any other show out there. Respect, Rez Mob. Thanks for being a part of it.
Thank you so much. More great comments coming in from Antoine Seymour. Someone asking about the camel hair jacket. The reason I'm not wearing it now is because well, it just doesn't.
You're straight fire with or without the jacket.
And it also, I mean, look at this. This is a hip look right here. We got like a charcoal and then a gray here, and it just this gray would not go well with that camel hair jacket. I'm sure some of the guys like DJ Big Boss and others would say that I made the right choice. This is a hip look. Look at this. You can't really see it, gray and black. All right, let's get into MLB, Jim. How about that? Ready?
Let's get into it.
Right.
Anthony L is very interested in Parlay Poppy's play on the first 5, or was it the team total over for the Yankees? Excuse me, the team total. Parlay Poppy says, I'm on the side of the Yanks, over 2.5, first 5. Estrada gets lit by Yanks. Last 2 games, he gave up 8 earned runs, 12 innings pitched. I like that we're talking about it. I want to get it right now. Please give me the 2 bets that I made earlier today.
Okay.
The first
Let me write it
5
down.
over and the full game over.
Now that one, the first 5 innings over, is now one that I would be considering myself. That is looking very tempting. The full game over, again, you're dealing with this friggin' Yankees bullpen. You know what I'm saying?
Also dealing with the Jays bullpen.
Yes.
Don't you think they sort of balance each other out because the Jays bullpen is so bad?
I don't think they balance each other out. I think that like the Yankees bullpen is just fearsome, and I don't know. It's just like you don't know if the Yankees have a nice little lead and they're secure. I mean, you might be right.
No, I get what you're saying. You're right. It probably doesn't fully balance it out. But I made both bets, and I want to have both.
All right. Well, you're going to get a really nice number now. Wow, it was 10 in the morning show. Now we can give you 9.5 plus 109 at Pinnacle. Very nicely done, Jimmy the Bag. Over 9.5. Plus 109, and if this first 5 innings is a 5, which I doubt, but if it is, I'm going to be on that one myself. Show me a 5. Nope, no 5s. Only 5.5 plus 101, but that might be worth a shot anyway. 5.5 plus 101 at Pinnacle, and 9.5 plus 109 on the full game. Very interesting there, Jimmy the Bag, that with Judge being out, the first 5 inning line, it opened at 5.5 minus 116 to the under. That's right where it is now. So the full game total dropped by more than a half point. The first 5 innings did not move. On that news.
Yeah, very interesting.
All right, so let's review all the picks that we gave in the morning show, and then we will start adding shit on, because I'm definitely going to add some stuff on. I gave only 5 picks in the morning show. Milwaukee-Cleveland under 7.5. I think I'm going to add some others in that one. Yankees second half money line minus 160, which I do like. I also did give the Yankees-Toronto second half under 4 at plus 100, which now makes me a little bit nervous, but okay, that was a pick that I gave. Also, Oakland-Texas under 10.5 minus 108. That one I think I'm okay with, but I think I'm going to be liking the second half under more, and I think I'm going to give that one. And I also did give San Francisco minus 1 with Madison Bumgarner's first start at a very low line, minus 1 plus 113. I was leaning towards giving, San Francisco first 5 innings team total as well, and San Francisco first half, and I'm definitely going to be adding both of those in the show when we get to that as well. All right, and Jimmy the Bag gave Baltimore Mets first half under 3.5, Baltimore Mets full game under 8.5.
Oh, it was more than 3.5.
Sorry, 4.5. God, I don't know
you.
what's going on. All right,
No
I
problem.
need a Xanax. I need a half, just a quarter of a Xanax. Larry, if you got a quarter of a Xanax, an eighth of a Xanax or anything, really would help a little bit right now. Okay, Baltimore Mets, first half under 4.5, full game under 8.5. Cubs run line, -1.5, -107. Arizona, San Francisco, over 7 plus 101. And the Detroit Boston game, over 9.5, -125. And in the morning show, I said I was leaning Boston -1, which I think I'm going to take, and also leaning Boston on the first 5 innings team total over. I did bet both of those, and I think I'm going to take that one as well at 3. Those are the only official picks, and of course, Jim has added Toronto first half and full game over. I have a bunch of plays that I want to add. I'm going to take off my shades for this one just so that I can see shit a little bit better. Jimmy the Bag, any other picks you want to add?
There are some picks I want to add. I do want to mention that I had a couple people tweet at me that were very much against my unders in Baltimore, New York Mets, and strongly disagreed. They said they strongly disagreed, and I capped that game this morning, and I really believe in what my breakdown and how I think this game is going to play out. So I'm not concerned by that. Just like I wasn't concerned yesterday when Soprano told me he was betting his house on Vegas, and Ulysses was saying, everyone's saying all the sharps on Vegas. I just feel very confident in what I've seen from these two teams. I have the MLB Network. All I'm doing is watching baseball. Now, of course, the Stanley Cup Finals takes precedent, and the NBA Finals takes precedent over some of these games. But I'm on, and Kobe Valentine says, Jimmy, I like your unders there. Jim Tolbeson says, I like that play a lot, Jimmy. Thank you, guys, because I had a lot of people, not a lot, I had 2 people, but they used the word strongly disagree, which is uncomforting.
Yeah, okay. Scotty Rock Forever says, I thought you didn't do drug speed. Uh-oh, Fiber. Scotty Rock Forever. Xanax is a medication, okay? Not a drug. Learn the difference. Xanax is not a drug. It's a medication, okay? I don't do drugs. Medications, sure, as needed, okay? As needed. All right,
sure.
let's move on. All right, Jimmy the Bag, let's see. Marco Lou says, I like the Brewers. I don't like the Indians bullpen. I think Brewers can keep it close against Kluber. They can win once the game gets to the pen. Yes, I was thinking about throwing on the Brewers on the second half at plus 115. My only concern there is that sometimes Kluber does go 9 innings. And if that happens here, especially if he's not running up a high pitch count, which he might not if he's having a strong first 5 innings, which I also suspect he will do, we might see an 8 or 9 inning game, in which case the bullpen won't matter at all.
Yes, I can agree with that. Jesus A. So now we have Yellow Jesus and Jesus A.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Jesus A. is also on the under with the Mets game, which makes me feel good. Brooke Jordan giving out her plays.
Brooke Jordan, welcome back. Haven't seen her in a while. Who does Brooke Jordan like?
Angels full game and Astros game under.
Wow.
Interesting. The Keuchel Paxton spot. Interesting stuff. And yes, I have plays to add. So with Brooke Jordan giving the Angels and the full game, I would like to get to that Angels game.
Yeah.
I wanted to do more work on the last 3 games. I also, you guys, and I'm very, very, very excited. I spent the whole afternoon hammering the World Cup. Now I only got through 2 groups, but already see some bets, big plus bets that I'm very, very excited about, and I will be completely ready to go by the start of the World Cup. I will also be completely ready to go for the start of the CFL season, and I will be completely ready to go for the Belmont this weekend, which I'm all very, very, very excited about.
Very nice.
But yes, this Angels game, did you take a look at it?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Heaney was off a bad start. I think that was likely a speed bump, so I think he bounces back. Keller is probably not going to go deep again as in his last start. So I would be liking the Angels here, except as some people have mentioned in previous shows, the Angels might be getting a little bit overrated, especially offensively. I'm not sure that they warrant a minus 190 line here. I think I'm going to give the second half under on this one though, Jim. What do you want to do on this one?
Well, I think that the Royals bats are waking up. They're hitting nicely versus lefties. 263 average, 748 OPS. The Angels bats seem like they've gotten their shit together a little bit over the last little while. We know that Keller will be on the strict pitch count.
Yes.
And when we get to that Royals bullpen, things go awry. With all that said, I like the 8 that they're hanging. And the wind's blowing out. It's going to be a nice night at 66 Fahrenheit. And just like Jake Lee says here, I will take the Angels and the over. I will take the over 8.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm writing down all my leans that I'm going to add here to convert to official plays. Let's see. Over 8. Jimmy the Bag, San Francisco, KC and the Angels. Let's see, over 8 plus 100 as that pinnacle right now. We can give you that one. Okay,
Thank you.
LA Angels, over 8 plus 100. I was thinking about a play with the second half under on that one, although there's a bunch of other games that are like in the second half unders a little bit more, and we'll get to that in a bit.
Sasana on the Royals money line, plus 175. And the Royals run line, so that's a plus 1.5 at minus 125. But also on the Royals reverse run line at plus 550. Jesus.
Yeah.
Cap and Sasana.
Yeah. I mean, this does feel like one of those games where, these are exactly the. Wait. Minus 1.5 plus what? Plus 550?
That's what he's saying.
Minus 1.5 for the Royals?
Yes.
No. That's not plus 550. Minus.
I hear you. Reverse run line. He's saying it's plus 550. Saying bank it, Jimmy. I have not looked at what it is, so I'm just reading.
KC Royals. Minus. Is he talking about like minus 2.5 or something?
Well, Sasana's what? Sasana's right here. Let us know. Sasana.
Yeah, it's at Bet365 right now, which tends to have the best. KC minus 1.5 is 350. Minus 2.5 is plus 525. So he's probably talking about 2.5.
Probably talking about 2.5.
Okay. But still, minus 1.5 plus 350. That is very tempting because this feels like one of those games. You know, the Angels should have the edge. I do think that Heaney is that his last start was just a speed bump, but I just don't see the Angels as warranting this big of a favorite line here.
I agree. Heaney could have a bounce back game. This Royals lineup is starting to hit. They should not be this big of a favorite. Yeah.
That's what I am thinking about. All right, let's get to so you took the over 8 at plus 100. Let me throw on a bunch of plays that I was definitely gonna be looking to give here. All right, Jim.
Yes, and just to lead us into a game, Drew B is on the Nats and Red Sox run line parlay today. I know you're interested and likely going to give that Boston line.
Yeah.
I am going to give the Nats line. So whenever you're ready to hit those games.
Yeah, I mean the Boston line. It's just there were so many times in the recent weeks where I thought that Boston minus 1 was just a no-brainer good play, and pretty much all the time that I thought that they were, I actually gave them as a play about half the time or 2/3 of the time, and then the other half or third of the time I was like, why didn't I just give it? It's like, Detroit is off a doubleheader, right? They got a questionable starting pitcher going, Wright, wouldn't be a surprise if Wright gets hit here, but he's been good so far. Even if he does get hit, Boston probably comes back. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what we're going to get from these two pitchers. I feel like the volatility is big. I don't trust
definitely
Wright against this lineup. Yes, his numbers have been great this year. But this lineup, I had their numbers here. Detroit's roster is 13 for 35 against them, and I like Detroit's roster, so I'm a little uncomfortable making any move. I don't know what Lewicki's going to give us. I feel like if I was going to do anything, I would probably take the Red Sox minus 1, but I like the Tigers as a dog. They've been playing very good. Now, they've been playing very good at home. They're still just 9-18 on the road, but I'm going to stay off that game.
Okay, so there's a bunch of second half plays that I definitely want to give. I'm going to give the Pirates second half under 3.5 at minus 130. I actually bet it at minus 125, so that's kind of a nice sign. Pittsburgh second half under 3.5 minus 130. That's going to be an official pick. Interestingly, the Yankees-Blue Jays second half that I gave at under 4 is now down to 3.5, so I could take that back and probably with a statistical arb break even on that one, and I might actually do that. I'm thinking about that one right now. Oakland, Texas second half under at 4 plus 100. I'm also leaning towards as well. I know it's supposed to be really hot in Texas tonight, but it'll cool off probably a little bit at nighttime. I want to think if I want to double up on that.
I want to talk about that game.
All right.
But before I do, let me just read a couple of quick comments. Parlay Poppy saying, why Detroit? First 5 money line might play today. He says, right, he's 0-3 as a starter against the Tigers, 14 earned runs, 14 innings pitched, and the 318 average in 2017 versus right, 355 in 2016 versus right. Book it. And Isan Solfagari says, Jimmy, my favorite play of yours is the over in the Red Sox game. I can easily see these teams scoring 4 or 5 runs each. Tomor says Boston hits at home, but Lewicki has been solid. I think the line is slightly inflated.
All right. Well, let me just add on a few plays here that I am going to add. This might surprise some people, but I am going to add on. I gave the full game under in the Cleveland game. I might give the first half under as well. I'm also going to give the second half under. Milwaukee-Cleveland, second half under 3.5 minus 125. Yes, I know the Cleveland Indians bullpen is dog shit. I'm fully aware of that. First of all, I think it's entirely possible that Kluber will go 8 in which case you're only looking at 1 inning with that dog shit pen. Milwaukee has a good pen. I'm taking it. Second half under, 3.5 minus 125. And in the Baltimore Mets game, I am going to take the second half under in that one as well at minus 120. Second half under in that one as well at minus 120. I would agree with Jim on the full game. The first 5 innings under makes me a little bit nervous, but I'm just going to stick with one play there. And then also
Sorry, you just added the Mets. The
Mets second half under 3.5 minus 120.
Good,
Yes,
good. That gives me hope.
Yes. And also I gave San Francisco -1. I'm a believer in Bumgarner right now in this spot, and I think that I'm going to double, and I think I'm going to triple up on this one. Take San Francisco first 5 innings on the money line and the first 5 innings team total over as well. I did bet Bumgarner on the money line on the first 5 innings at minus 145. Now I'm only seeing minus 150, so I think I'm going to have to take that one. That is okay. I beat that line a little bit, but bet it a little bit less, but I'm going to take San Francisco first half minus 150, and also the first 5 innings team total over with Corbin going, which will be 1.5. Let me see what the current odds are for that one. Of all these plays, the one I like least is the first 5 innings team total over, because Corbin could be good. You know what I'm saying? But I think if Corbin is good, Bumgarner is likely to be better.
I think the Giants are going to touch him.
Yeah.
I don't know to what extent, but the Giants' bats are alive right now. And how many times are they going to see Corbin this year before they get more comfortable with how he throws?
Yeah.
I really I kind of like that play that you're on. I want to talk about this A's-Rangers game.
Okay, so let me just quickly quote the numbers, then we go on. All right, so once again, San Francisco first half money line minus 150. It was a little bit better recently, but I'll take it at minus 150. And the first 5 innings team total over 1.5 minus 134. That's the current line at Pinnacle. Baltimore Mets second half under 3.5 minus 120. Milwaukee Cleveland second half under 3.5 minus 125. Pittsburgh second half under 3.5 minus 130. And I'm not done. I have a few other leans that I think I'm going to add in the course of this show. All right, Jim, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm happy to hear. Oh, you putting cash on? Nasty Nate has a question. Yes, I mean I can't speak for Pete, but I do watch and make bets all the time. And but yes, you guys see my tweets. You see my action.
What did he say? What did he say?
Just Nasty Nate saying. Pete, sorry, I thought it was to both of us.
Yeah.
Are you putting cash on all of your picks, or are they just for the show?
No, I put cash on. Not only do I put cash on all my picks, but I most of my leans, almost all of my leans, I wouldn't say all of them, but definitely any pick I give as a pick is I definitely have bet. And most, I would say 80 to 90% of my leans I have also bet. I just care more about I'm more risk averse when it comes to the show, but absolutely, of course, 100%. I would even if my total net worth was down to like $500, I'd still set aside $100 of that to use as my bankroll. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah, I do. I watch you do it all the time.
Go
Marco Lou says, I like the Rangers. Jimmy, thank you for that insight. I want to talk this out, and I want to talk it out before I make a move. Drunk conversation. Love Oakland and Oakland, Texas over 10.5. Fucking Miracle Moore is still a starter. And this is the game I would like to talk about. Oh, there's more. Anthony L. I'm on A's and contemplating overs. Mac Darwin, Oakland, Texas under 10.5 for me. Yes, I'm wondering if, so you were saying you think that this is a bounce back spot for Minaya.
Well,
it's 6 straight starts of 4 earned runs
I know.
or more.
His last start was a little bit better though. He had a few flubs, but also had a bunch of innings that he strung together well. And I think that Minaya might be at least in this spot. I don't know. I haven't even checked to see where his next start would be after this, but at least in this spot, a little bit more favorable for him than some of his other starts. Although we just had someone who was sitting in Texas, and he said he made kind of a gross comment, so I'm not going to repeat the comment, but his general gist was that it's real fucking hot and humid right now in Texas, and he's thinking that there's going to be a lot of runs.
That piques my curiosity.
Swamp ass. That's the phrase. It's disgusting.
Ass?
It's fucking disgusting. But that's the phrase. He said, I'm sitting here in Texas right now. I'm getting swamp ass, and it's going to be hot and humid.
I like swamp ass.
Yeah, I know, because you love that. I don't like that. I like to keep. I'm like Jerry Seinfeld. I like to keep things. I don't like a gratuitous grossness. But,
now that we have Pink Eye Genie with us, I'm no longer scared of swamp ass or any ass for that matter. King Rail says, Jimmy, my book only offers full games, first 5 and 7. How do I make a second half line? And as far as I know, King Rail asking that question, isn't that something that then you have to do live?
What, second half?
Yeah, making
no,
a second half
all
line?
these second half bets are I bet them before the game starts.
No,
and-
but his book doesn't only
Right.
offers full games, first 5 and 7.
Well,
then
full games, first 5, right,
and
right.
first 7. So then would he have to do it live to create a second half line?
Yes, except that if you do it live, you will be getting a much different number than you would have been getting before the show. Sometimes you'll be getting a better number. Sometimes you'll be getting a worse number. And a lot of my bets here on second halves, which have been doing very well, I'm assuming that the game is going to go a certain way. And if the game actually does go that way, by the time the second half rolls around, you'll get a much worse line on what my bet was at that point in the game. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a very important point.
So yeah, but once again, you can go to sportsbookreview.com and find out which books do have second half lines pre-game. The ones that I can mention right now for sure are Bookmaker, DSI, and all of the Bookmaker clones, which includes Just Bet and some others, and also Heritage does. And there may be some others that are lesser books that I don't know about, but definitely Bookmaker and all the Bookmaker clones do, including Just Bet and many others, and Heritage absolutely does.
Great answer, Swamp Ass.
Yes.
Love it. Marcus Johnson says Texas plus 1.5 has a simulation value at 74%. And for those of you who like the over, I'm now staying off the game, and I thank you guys for all your insights. Says, and the under 10.5 has a simulation at 64%.
On what?
On the under 10.5 Athletics Rangers, Mania versus Moore, and also on the Rangers plus 1.5. But I don't like the plus 1.5 line.
Yeah. I mean, Tomore says Mania, good starts at the beginning of the year. We're mostly in Oakland. I wouldn't trust him in Arlington if there's swamp ass. Hitters Park. Yeah, no, he said if it's hot, but we know what he meant.
Swamp ass, of course. And Brent Brooks in Texas himself says it's hard to trust the Rangers lineup, especially with Guzman sitting tonight.
Yeah, listen, it might be a loser, but I took it, and I'm thinking about doubling up even on the second half as well, 4.5 at plus 100. All right, Jim, what else do you want to discuss
Just
here?
one last point on this game. I find this game I'm going to add the Nationals play in a second, but Oakland versus Texas for Parlay Poppies on Oakland first 5 money line. Believing in Mania's record against the Rangers and Moore's opposite, 17 innings pitched, 10 earned runs in his last 3. I am going to, and Scotty Rock forever says it's not the pitching, I trust the A's bats. And I do too. And Nostra Toda does as well. But when I'm looking at these numbers, the A's are hitting 233 with a 688 OPS versus lefties, almost 50 OPS points lower than the Rangers, and that does give me concern.
Yeah, all right, I might be on the wrong side here. Drunk Conversation says Moore is the key here. If he pitches 4+ innings, the A's will put up 7+ runs. Wow. Ed and Mania not being perfect, and I'm seeing a shootout. Scotty Rock Forever says A's bats will smash Texas. Good enough. Where is the run line is covered? Okay. Yeah. You know what? And then Brent Brooks says at King Rail. Brent Brooks and King Rail are going back and forth about who has it worse in terms of the heat. And this is the dry heat gambit that is often played in Arizona. Brent Brooks says at King Rail. Yeah, but I think King Rail's in Vegas. The Vegas heat is a dry heat. It's the humidity that kills you here in Texas. And also, as we know, humidity maybe counterintuitively does make balls carry further. Balls carry further in hot air, in humid air than in dry air. Just FYI, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's important stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point by Brent Brooks, and in fact, I definitely track that. I don't ever just look at temperature alone. I look at temperature combined with humidity. You know what I'm saying? So you're absolutely right that Texas is where it can get hot and humid, and I might be wrong here, but I took it, and I'm not going to take it back. All right?
I hear you.
Okay.
I have decided that I don't see Eovaldi throwing like he did in Game 1. If a guy throws a no-hitter, history is showing that they generally don't pitch that well in the next game. Now, I don't know. I think that Eovaldi was very nervous coming into that start. Psychologically, if I went into that start after not pitching I'd be very nervous, very interested in how I pitch. And if I pitch 6 innings of no ball, I would then not worry for 4 days and not come in with that same edge that I think you need. Max Scherzer is pitching incredibly well. And this is a spot where I am, even though I don't like doing this, I am going to take the Nationals on the run line, even though it's still a minus spot that I'm in. -1.5. Nationals. What can you get me line shopping?
Okay, Kevin K is asking questions about humidity, and
Sure.
yes, I will put some links to some articles that will explain why the ball travels further in humidity than in a lack of humidity. And there's other reasons why. There's other conditions that sometimes accompany a lack of humidity that can, like for instance in Coors Field, Coors always has very low humidity, not always, but usually has very low humidity. The ball travels a lot farther there, obviously, but for reasons other than humidity. But all things being equal, the ball does travel farther in air that is more humid. And I'm not going to search for it now, but in tomorrow's show, I will send you. I'm actually going to be off for a few days, but I will send I will send out some links. Maybe I'll tweet out some links.
Perfect.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll tweet out a link in my post game tweet for today's show, showing linking to an article that explains why the ball, all things being equal, travels further in humid air. But yes, it's a great question, a very interesting issue, and we will address that later on. All right, Jimmy the Bag.
I am on the Nationals run line, -1.5, and I would like to see you do some line shopping magic for me.
Okay. Hold on one second. Okay, so what do you want here?
I want the Nationals -1.5.
Nationals -1.5, -116 at Pinnacle. We can give you that. And that's run line -116.
All right, beautiful.
Okay, all right. Let me see where else. I've got like 8 things going on in my head right now. Other plays that I was thinking about giving on today's card. Let's just go down. Well, the Dodgers-Pittsburgh game is very interesting. I did give the second half under. I think Stripling is probably going to throw another strong game. I know Drew Martin likes the under on the full game in that one. My only concern on this one is what to expect from Musgrove. And it's also a tough situation for the Dodgers traveling across country. Musgrove obviously has had a couple of great starts, but long term, he's going to regress to his normal mediocrity at some point. When will that happen? Not exactly sure.
He's a 25-year-old. I don't know if that. I don't know if mediocrity is necessarily in his future. He wants to be a number one guy.
Yeah.
They need that in Pittsburgh. So I don't think mediocrity is necessarily the right term. I think this guy wants to be a leader of this team. And so I hear what you're saying.
No, you might be right. Okay, so let me just go through the picks that I'm thinking about. I was vaguely thinking about the Dodgers here, or the Dodgers first 5 innings, or the full game under on that one. Toronto Yankees. I have given the full game and the second half under, and of course I also gave the Yankees a second half on the money line at -160. Thinking about going with the first 5 innings over on this one as well with Jimmy the Bag, and thinking maybe about pulling my second half play. I'll have to think about that. Again, Boston, first 5 innings team total over, and Boston -1, definite leans. Milwaukee, Cleveland, I gave the full game under and the second half under. Thinking about throwing the first half under on this one as well. I have to think about it a little more. Baltimore Mets, I gave the second half under on that one. Also thinking about maybe Baltimore +1. The line has moved, it opened, it's right now where it is when it opened, but in the morning show, money was coming in on Baltimore. Now late money is coming in on the Mets. What's your take on that, Jim, if any?
Well,
I'm kind of more of a believer in this spot in Vargas, in Cobb than Vargas.
I think that Cobb now. I've struggled with some of these pitchers that I was expecting more from. This is the spot where there's 2 pitchers pitching against each other. And I know I harped on this a little bit on the early show, where experts looked at them in the offseason and gave them big dollars. And so for me, just looking at this game quickly, you got to like being at home. And where are all my notes? I got to think that Vargas is in a nice spot here against an Orioles team that's starting to hit lefties a little bit, 239, 695 OPS versus lefties. But I think the Orioles lineup is so much more dangerous than the Mets lineup. It's amazing that they have very similar numbers, because I find that when I look at the rosters, I just find this Orioles lineup so much more dangerous.
A lot of comments coming in on this humidity thing. Let's just go back to that a second. Kevin K says, "Sorry, Pete, you're correct. Since the addition of humidity actually makes the air less dense, a ball will go farther on a humid day than it will on a dry day." That's right. It's about air density. And now, Zigzag Man is talking about that's why they use the humidor to make the balls to reduce offense. Yes, I'm not talking about the balls themselves being humid. Obviously, more humidity within the ball will obviously reduce offense a lot. That's exactly why they use the humidor. I'm talking about all things being equal, the humidity in the air, not in the ball. Yes, making the ball humid will of course, obviously a drier baseball will fly out of the park, and that's why so many balls flew out of the park in Coors, because they would dry out. So we're talking about humidity in the air, not humidity in the ball. All right, Jimmy the Bag. So you said that you said people are, all right. So you said that you liked the Orioles lineup more, right?
Yes, I do. Now, but there was a good point by Tomor. He said Baltimore's lineup is good, but they are built on power. I don't think this is a good park for them.
That's the other thing that I am aware of and was thinking about. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So again, a lean for me would be to Baltimore +1, but I'm not sure if I want to do that one. Philly and the Cubs is a really tough one. Oakland, Texas, thinking about doubling up on that under and throwing the second half under as well. White Sox, Minnesota, Giolito against Littell. We will talk about this one because it's an interesting game. We didn't talk about it in the morning show. Let me just go down my leans. Paxton against Keuchel, pass. Total pass. Urena against Martinez, pass. Total pass. Angels and KC, slight lean to the second half under on this one, and I can definitely see the case for KC on the alternative run line. The more he talked about it, the more it makes sense to me, Jim.
Yes, I could see that as well. Going quickly, touching on your Marlins Cardinals game, it's a pass. I don't know exactly what Carlos Martinez is going to give us, but traditionally he's been pretty good off of breaks, and I think Urena is going to keep pitching better actually as the year goes on. And the Cards are activating Yadier Molina. I think that will help. This Braves Padres game I took a long look at. Now Scotty Rock saying fade Gio. And there, you have every reason to believe that Giolito has looked just awful. But there's a reason why he's still in the show and not working it out in the minors. Now, maybe this ends tonight. But let's just quick, do you have any thoughts on this Newcomb versus Lyles? I'm waiting for Lyles to start pitching poorly. I'm just waiting for it. I know it's going to happen. I want to be making money on it when it happens.
He's got some great numbers at home recently. Small sample size, but really impressive. And Kobe Valentine says, back in time to say I'm on Miami money line. Interestingly, and wasn't it also Nostratoda who said that despite the line movement, huge line movement in favor of Miami, he said it hadn't moved enough. Is that right?
Yeah, basically that was what he was inferring. Yes.
So both Nostratoda and Kobe Valentine particularly singling out Miami in this entire 15-game card as a side with value. I have to say I'm mildly surprised just because Martinez, when he's on, can be so good, and Miami, we know in general, is shitty. And yet, look at those opinions, right?
I think you can get value with Urena now. And also, I was reading the comments that he said after the last game, and they were mature. Because it was against San Diego. He left with a 2-1 lead. They lost that game 3-2. And he said very mature things about he knows they're giving it his all their best, and he's not concerned with his 0-7 record. I was impressed with what he was saying.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, all right, so that's about it. And then once again in San Francisco, I have decided to triple up. I took San Francisco -1, San Francisco first half, and San Francisco first half team total over 1.5. Obviously, if Bumgarner shits the bed, two of those players are not going to be looking good. But you know, maybe San Francisco will pound Arizona. And then let's just talk about the White Sox Minnesota game. I don't know if game one is over yet. This is a very interesting matchup. This guy Littell is not just some average journeyman who's coming up making a start. Guy with a ton of potential and upside, a big prospect. And Giolito, of course, the White Sox are throwing him out there every 5 days or every 6 days or whatever, so that shows that they clearly see something with him. They have confidence in him, but as of yet, he has just not been able to produce, right?
It's been terrible. 37 walks and 30 strikeouts.
Yeah.
55 innings. Very strange. Yeah, Zach, Little, is it Little? Is that how you pronounce
Littell,
it?
I think.
Littell?
Yeah, I thought it was Littell.
Littell makes sense, yeah. Littell went 0-3 with 5.87 ERA in Chattanooga, and they bring him up to AAA. And in Rochester, he's looked great. 1-1, 2.57 ERA, 4 starts, 5 outings, held opponents to 8 earned runs. Still 10 walks in 28 innings, something he can work on, but he struck out 30. Yeah, he looks like he's an interesting pitcher. I'm very uncomfortable with this game, though. I don't... I just don't think Giolito is that bad. And I think there's a reason why these guys are keeping him in the show. If there was something, if he was tipping pitches, if he was doing something they would send him down to AAA and have him work itself out. But they still believe in him. And I told you, I was listening to his interview. Now this is we're talking about 5 weeks ago. But he was saying all the right things, and I'm uncomfortable with this game.
Okay, Flipper 13. Don't like to be on the opposite side of him. Flipper 13, guy who knows what he's talking about, has handicapped a game or two in his life, says fade the bum tonight. Not a buyer in Madison Bumgarner. Interesting. See, I see Bumgarner, and I see a veteran like that, an elite starting pitcher when he's on his game with those kinds of results in his minor league rehab starts. And I think that he's not going to come in here and be like, oh, no, I was great in the minors. Can I really do it in the majors? I mean, maybe he will, but I think he's going to have
no hurdles whatsoever. No hurdles whatsoever. I just think with Corbin, seeing this Giants lineup that's hot right now, again, mixed with Bumgarner, who they're not going to let him throw 100 pitches. This Giants bullpen is susceptible.
Yeah.
All that being said, I really like the over 7 here, and I like getting a plus 101. I could have got 6.5 line chopping. I couldn't have got it with my book, but I could have got it line chopping if I had to beat the playoff. But I'm very comfortable with this spot.
Yeah, well, Flipper 13 bet Arizona, and Flipper 13 also bet Miami. So now you got the minus 110 Nostra Tota, Kobe Valentine, and Flipper 13 on Miami. Wow. Parlay Poppy says San Francisco team total over 1.5 is a great play. I hope so. And Kobe Valentine likes Milwaukee money line at plus 190 as well.
Look at what Nostra Tota has joined us with. God, I love this stuff.
What do you say?
God, his angles it's a reason why he's such a special baseball handicapper. He says, love it, flip. Diamondbacks first 5 and full game, wrong team favorite.
No shit.
Wow.
Wrong team favored. He thinks Arizona should be a favorite here, so he thinks this line is off by like 50 cents.
It's a wild thing to say. Corbin's pitching well. I just think that you keep seeing this guy. You got to start hitting him. And what's Madison Bumgarner going to give us? I tell you one thing that I have learned, though, is that, it doesn't matter if a guy pitches well or pitches poorly in his rehab starts. You don't know what they're working on. If you take too much into your analysis, it kind of leads you astray. I don't care that his number, and this isn't something I would have said a few years ago, but now I don't care that he shut people down. Bumgarner he's a tough guy. And he comes in and pitches against some 19, 20-year-olds, your bat starts shaking. I don't, just because he was dominant in that 8 1/3.
Wow, Sean Robertson. Pass on San Francisco game, but lean on Arizona to touch Bummy early. Wow. Look at this.
Wow.
Jonathan Cook says Bumgarner will throw no more than 90 pitches. That's on a good outing. Yes, so that's why I'm, mostly taking the first 5 here. Trey Taylor says Diamondbacks bounce back. Wow. Everyone liking. I'm
surprised so many people.
Wow. Twate latte. I agree with Nostra Tota. Wrong team favored. Damn. All right, maybe I'm on the wrong side here. Tomarino Tomor, the only one who's giving me some support here. I think San Francisco team will be fired up for Bumgarner's first start of the season. I think San Francisco wins here.
I do think they're going to be fired up. I do think they can touch Corbin. But I'm comfortable with my over 7. What's the line movement being on that over 7?
Flipper 13 says Pete looks like he's trying to study Chinese basic math. Yeah, Flipper 13. This shit is hard, man. This shit is motherfucking hard. It's not always fucking Bartolo Colon day and you take a first 5 innings team total over 2.5 and cash easily. This shit is hard. Let's see.
Man, there's 6.5s now.
Yeah, it's headed down.
It's heading way down.
Pinnacle is now at 7 plus 117, so a big line move towards the under.
Plus 117 at Pinnacle.
Which tells me, I guess, that the market is expecting a good start from both these guys then.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll see. I've locked in my plays. I've locked in my picks. I'm not going to take them back and donk out the juice, donk off the juice. So I'm just gonna stick with my plays here. We'll see how it turns out. Scotty Rock Forever says wrong team is favored, and it's the D-bag.
Swati Latte, who's hitting very hard right now, says over everything in this game.
Wow.
Over everything. God, that's a huge line move that I wish I had taken advantage of.
Kevy K says Corbin's been getting away throwing sub 90 and posting great numbers. Reason is getting lucky. Incredible strand rate. Yeah, I mean, people have been expecting a regression from Corbin over the past bunch of weeks. It happened in his last start, although he had a lot of strikeouts in his last start anyway. But before that, he was doing great. Wow. All right.
This chat's been hot today.
Yes, it certainly
I've
has.
really enjoyed it.
It certainly has, and I'm sure there's a lot of comments that are great that we've missed.
Yeah.
But Anthony L, the master, king of regression, maybe we can call Anthony L, the king of regression, says Arizona is due to come back with positive offensive regression. They had 245 BABIP in May. I would totally agree with that. Absolutely, I would agree with that. Not sure if going up against Bumgarner, even if he is on a pitch count, is the best situation to try to time a reversal of fortune for that. But I would absolutely agree with that, Anthony L on Arizona's offense. Let's see. Bally Mal says Giants roll for at least 2 or 3 more games. Justin Searcy says, I don't like San Francisco bullpen. Jonathan Cook says he's not going to pitch long at all. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming 5 innings. You think we'll get less than 5 innings from him?
From Mad Bum?
Yeah.
Oh, he'll go more than 5. Unless he gets touched early. Then he'll definitely only go 5. If I could go back in time, I would have not made the bet and make it now. Look at this. Look at these 6.5s on the board. Eovaldi and Scherzer with a 6.5. Corbin, Bumgarner with a 6.5. That 6.5, man, that is enticing. I would.
Look at this. People not sure what to make of this. Tosana says I like Bumgarner, but I think it might take a few games for him to get back to form. Kevy K says Bumgarner is so ready to roll. Trust him. Yeah. All right. Okay. Any other comments? I'm just scanning now for comments here. Any comments jump out at you, Jim? I'm scanning comments here.
Bankroll Mafia really believes in Bumgarner tonight. Stephen Chamberlain says Giants just gave up 1 total run to the Phillies. Team is hot. Ride the wave. Twadi Latte say always ride hot bats.
Anthony L says Paxton overvalued. Mariners are a regression candidate. Astros best team in the American League. This line is too low. I thought it should be minus 160 last night, and it's minus 120. Astros all day.
Wow. Parlay Poppy saying team total over for Rays first 5 is now 1.
Yeah.
1. And Twadi Latte says I'm gonna double my bet on the over 6.5. Jesus, maybe I could stack a unit that way.
I'm just scanning for comments here, looking for anything that people. I'm sure there's a lot of comments that we missed. I'm just scanning for them. I don't even know what the hell is going on here. I'm just scanning for comments. Here. All right. Okay. All right. So let me just do a quick save, and then let me just look over the MLB card to make sure that there's no leans that I want to give, and there is definitely one. I have to take this Boston Red Sox first 5 innings team total over 3. I mean, this guy Lewicki might have a good start, but Boston just has that kind of offense, right?
Do they?
What do you think?
Well, they do generally, but they just put. No, I don't think Pedroia is a big deal to that offense. He's a big deal to the dressing room, the character of the clubhouse. But Mookie Betts is on the DL.
Yeah.
Mookie makes his team go.
Yeah, he does. I'm thinking about throwing on the, Boston first 5 innings over through. Wow, the first 5 innings total is headed down actually now at Pinnacle. It was 115 earlier, then it was 108 last jump. Now it's down to minus 102. All right, I'll hold off on that one. I'll hold off on that one for now. Let me just check the Yankees and Toronto game, 5.5. That is very tempting. Let's see if there's a 5 on the first 5 innings. No, there isn't. That is very tempting to take a shot with the first 5 innings over 5.5. Did people generally agree with that? I know people are on the full game under.
With which game?
The Yankees-Toronto game.
It was even. It was pretty even. DJ Big Boss is on the Blue Jays. Molly Mall's got to take that Boston first 5 too.
Boston first 5 innings, team total over 3. I mean, it seems just like a little bit of a.
And then Kevy K says, "Don't agree, Molly."
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this Lewicki guy, long term, he's obviously very mediocre, but he has had some nice results. They're only going to throw him out for 3 innings, and then maybe it's like later on where Boston will pick
Chris
things up.
Garza says they don't need Mookie to beat the Astros, but that's not.
To beat Detroit. Man, Detroit, Boston -1 is such a close lean for me here. Boston -1 is such a close lean.
Jomo Kenyatta is on the Yanks and Blue Jays over tonight. That's nice. That's nice to know. Kobe Valentine has a Jays 6-4 win, which
would put it over.
Which would be good enough for me. Anthony L says is Wright deserving of this big favorite line.
I mean, that's the question. He's obviously recently he's had good results, and he's a knuckleballer. So that means that you would expect volatility with him. You would also expect a little bit of consistency. Like a lot of times, like Tim Wakefield, remember? He was never really, like sometimes he'd be lights out, but he was always like, he would rarely get crushed. You know what I'm saying? His bad starts would be like 7 runs, 4 innings, something like that. The other thing is that you might not know this, Jim, but a lot of knuckleballers tend to do well indoors, right? The reason they tend to do well indoors is because knuckleballs, this is in general, not across the board, because some guys throw harder knuckleballers than others. That guy who's R.A. Dickey notably threw a hard knuckleball. But so in general, knuckleballers tend to do well when there's not much wind, and the conditions today are very, very mild. That makes me think that it's probably favorable for a knuckleballer.
Yeah, I think there's truth to that. Moving
All right,
on.
I got to at least take Boston -1. I got to take at least Boston -1. I'll take that one. Boston -1. The money line is going to be -185, and the run line is going to be for Boston. Let me see, +100. So that'll be like -140 or something like that. So Boston -1, -140. If that one loses, I'll be okay with that, with eating that loss. I did bet it, and there you go. Boston -1, -185 money line, +100 at Pinnacle for the run line, and that's that.
Yeah, no, and the -1 has to be the play there. Anthony L says, I'm not laying -180 with the knuckleballer. Kobe says knuckleballers are hit or miss.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
And Sasana's proud of you.
Thank you, Bray. Look, I have sacked up. What did I do? About 10 days ago, I started sacking up. Now, the downswings will come, and when you start sacking up, the upswings are high and the downswings are low. But so far, sacking up has been a pretty good move for me overall in terms of my overall record.
A little easier to pull that sack out when you're up 30
Yes,
units.
that's the other thing.
Kobe Valentine says Wakefield got crushed.
When I started pulling the sack out, I was only up like 9 units or something like that.
No, you're right. You're right. Definitely pulling your sack out has improved.
And I also slacked up, slowly and strategically. I didn't just yank it up. I increased it incrementally over the course of a week.
Hey, you're doing great work.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim. That's all I was looking for. That's all I was looking for.
I feel like you're being questioned. You're doing great
That's all
work.
I was looking for.
Kobe Valentine says Wakefield got crushed. He was a huge fan of him, but he got crushed more in his latter half of his career, but he did get crushed. Dickey's a different story because he had varying speeds of his knuckleball.
Yes.
Alan Action says isn't Wakefield.
Right.
Parlay Poppy says simplify your analysis on that Sox game. Just look at how Detroit has hit right. Done. And there's no question that is simplifying really does help in certain situations.
Arthur Me Jr. says Pete and Jimmy the Bag SBR should finance you guys to have a road tour. Your first stop can be live at the Eiffel Tower. Not a bad idea. SBR brass, SBR ownership, SBR heads up. Keep it in mind, right? Road trip, world tour, Loshak in the bag. Just think about it is all I'm saying. All right, Jim.
And just for a note for our low baggers, that I was not a part of the Eiffel Tower shenanigans.
No. That was all me. I was the one who got hoodwinked and bamboozled by Bill Buttlicker. Very nicely done, Bill Buttlicker. An awesome hoodwink and bamboozle right there. All right, I'm thinking about, all right, so let me just go down the card very quickly. The 7 o'clock games, then we'll touch on WNBA, then we'll come back. And then to the rest of MLB, and then we'll maybe get some more thoughts from Jim on the playoffs, although he's already locked in his picks. Once again, Tampa Bay, Washington. Pass for me. Jimmy the Bag did give the Nats on the run line -116. Dodgers, Pittsburgh. I did give the second half under on this one, 3.5 -130. Lean to the Dodgers one way or the other. Lean to the full game under, but that's it. Yankees and Toronto. Jim gave Toronto first half over and full game over. And I, earlier in the show, in the morning show, gave the Yankees second half under, and I gave the Yankees on the second half money line. Detroit and Boston. I did add Boston -1, and Jim in the morning added over full game on that one, 9.5. Milwaukee, Cleveland. I took the full game under on that one, 7.5. The second half under on that one at 3.5, and I would also have a lean to the first half under on this one at 4. But I think I'm going to hold off on tripling up on this one. I'm just going to double up. Colorado, Cincinnati's a pass for both of us, right? You want to play on that one?
No. Colorado, Cincinnati was I found a bit of a tricky spot. There's no question that Freeland's pitching better, but I just don't know what this Sclafani's going to give us. And then what is it? How big of a favorite are the Rockies?
The Rockies about -109 is the best line right now. Once again, the weird thing about this game, not that it's necessarily appropriate here, applicable here, or something that you want to tell. Colorado is officially number 1 in MLB in terms of road ROI. Cincinnati officially number 30, dead last in terms of home ROI in MLB. So very interesting shit.
Yeah, and the Rockies just got beat up, embarrassed. They were a fraudulent first in their division anyways. I don't know. I didn't feel comfortable with this at all, this spot.
I would definitely be leaning Colorado here, but I'm not sure if I want to take it, though.
Yeah, and the Reds are hitting lefties. But there's no question that Freeland is starting to be consistently good. Never great, but consistently good. I'm not. In May, he was really good. 4-1, 2.56 ERA. I'm going to stay off this game at this point.
All right, I'm going to take Colorado on the second half. That was a lean. That was a side I bet. I'm going to take Colorado second half money line -125. -125. Cincinnati is off of a long road trip here. We don't know what we're going to get from DeSclafani, but he's probably not going to go deep. And then in the second half, I'm thinking that Colorado might have a little bit of edge. So I'm going to take Colorado second half -125. I did just add that play on. All right, then Baltimore-Mets. Jim took first half under and the full game under. I took the second half under in that one and leaning Baltimore +1. But you don't like that one too much, huh?
It's not that I don't like it.
How bad are the Mets?
The Mets are bad. They're a bad baseball team.
And
I know that the Orioles have a terrible record and have lost 7 straight, but if I had to take a side here, I would certainly take the Orioles.
The Mets are bad. Nemo's good, though, right?
Yes, Brandon Nemo is good.
Who else do they have that's good?
Well, Conforto's not stepping up. Jay Bruce is not playing well. They need Cespedes back. Their offense just does not look good at all. I mean, when Asdrubal Cabrera, although he's having a good year, is batting third on your baseball team, you are in big trouble.
Yeah. The line is moving in the Mets' favor. Just as I'm looking now, there's a red square on a SBR odds for Pinnacle, which indicates a very recent line move. Now up to -128 at Pinnacle for the Mets. I am going to take a shot with Baltimore +1. I think Cobb's been pitching a little bit better incrementally, similar to the way I started to sack up incrementally. And he's never going to be an ace top of the rotation starter, but I think this might be a decent spot for him against a weak team. And I'm going to take Baltimore +1.
Now, I don't want to take you off the play, but Notre Dame said came real close to taking Reds reverse run line. Good hitting weather. Mac Darwin says Cincinnati at home plus money for me.
No, I'm talking about Baltimore here against Mets.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the Rockies.
No, I
Cincinnati.
took Colorado second half.
Okay,
only.
sorry, my
Yes.
fault.
So I'm taking Baltimore. Money line is +118 at Pinnacle, and I'm going to combine that with the +1.5 line. Line shopping here. Baltimore. That will be 182. 182 at Bet Online. So +118 on the money line, -182 on the +1.5 line. So that's not too bad of a favorite line for Baltimore +1. I will take that one. And that's it for the 7 o'clock games. We've covered them all.
Beautiful. And my man Jay Patel says, I'm waiting for my boy Larry's picks.
Yeah.
That shit is big. He said 3 straight dogs in Korea.
No shit.
3 straight dogs in Korea. It's one thing hitting favorites, but this guy goes to Korea and gets dogs, finds dogs. Now, he doesn't have a dog today. I was very excited to hear who he had. It's not a dog, but he's back in Korea. Where he wants to be, where he belongs. Oh, Bulgogi Larry. Oh, Bulgogi Larry.
Is that how you say it?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Very nice. Maybe we should have Larry do a little small 10-stop world tour with the lucrative Larry Picks world tour. First stop and last stop in Korea. How about that?
Yes,
Not
and
bad.
he'll stay there.
Yeah.
He'll stay in Korea. That's where he belongs.
SBR ownership, SBR brass. Just think about it. World tour for a lucrative Larry. First stop Korea. All right. So
Kobe Valentine says, "Don't bet Baltimore, Pete. Don't do it."
Really? Yeah. I mean, it's a borderline play. I'm taking him +1. It's kind of a weak sauce thing to do, but I'm trusting my leans right now. And Mr. Gokster 99 says lean under full game Baltimore Mets. I'm on the second.
Oh yes,
okay, go
nice.
ahead.
Molly Mall says, "Don't bet O's, Pete."
Okay, well, I already made my pick. I can't take it back. I mean, I can take it back, but then I'll be donking off the juice there. So Vitola says Baltimore's no good on the road. I know, but it just feels like this will be a spot against a pitcher they can handle. Starting a pitcher that's been a little bit better. I might be doing the wrong thing here, but I'm filling up my fucking sheet with I've been going with my leans, and overall that's been a good thing to do. So I'll do it one more time there. I guess let's continue on with the MLB card. Philly and the Cubs. Jim gave the Cubs on the run line, didn't he? As an official play early in the morning show.
Sorry, what
Cubs,
game?
you gave it.
I did. Oh yeah.
You gave it at -1.5, -107. Now it's -1.5, +104 at Pinnacle. So a 10-cent line move against you. Not a great sign. Oakland to Texas. Once again, I took the under at 10.5. That was endorsed by a few people, and I was thinking about the second half under as well on that one. Minnesota and the White Sox. I guess we're going to pass on this game. We didn't give any picks, did we?
No, I find it very uncomfortable, and thankfully I didn't get on that first game. Hopefully I would have taken first 5, but I liked Ronaldo Lopez to bounce back. I was unsure what Fernando was going to do. Both pitchers coming off bad starts. The under should have been a move, thinking that these are both high-level prospects that have bounced back all over. But was very concerned that I would have taken the White Sox full game on that big plus line and lost.
Late money coming in on the Mets. It's now up to minus 130. If I had waited a few seconds, I could have gotten plus 120 on Baltimore. Probably on the wrong side of that one, but that's okay. Then Seattle-Houston, it's a pass for both myself and Jimmy the Bag, but Anthony L., I believe it was, saying that Houston is a great bet here at just minus 118. It's understandable why that line is where it is because Paxton's awesome, but Anthony L. says that is what's keeping the line low and giving value to Houston. Miami and St. Louis, a pass for me, a pass for Jim. We do have a bunch of people saying that they were liking Miami now, and since they said that, there has been about a 15-cent move or about a 10 or 15-cent move back in favor of St. Louis. Now the line is headed back up again. So when we were talking about that, Miami was in the plus 160s. Now they're up at plus 180 at Pinnacle, plus 185 at UWager.
Nostratoda. I did also peek to see what Nostratoda was going to be up to tonight before I came into the show. And a little late, but here is his action.
Uh-huh.
Dodgers, run line.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that myself. Okay.
Tigers
against
your Red Sox.
Okay.
Marlins.
Okay. Line headed up, back up now, up to minus 200 for St. Louis. Okay.
And Diamondback.
Okay, so we're on the opposite sides. That's not a great place to be, but we'll see how it all shakes out. Again, it is interesting that now the line is headed back up. Now, if you want Miami, you can get plus 185 at UWager, uwager.eu. And if you'd like to sign up with UWager, please use the link in the description box below this video so they can know that you found out about UWager for the first time ever in the Loshak in the Bag show. Line is headed up, and UWager now has the best line on Miami at plus 185. KC and the Angels is going to be a pass for me. I would have a lean to the second half under and also a lean to KC on the alternative run line. I would agree with that. At plus 335, that's just too high. And, I think that the Angels are a little bit overrated and overvalued right now. Casey, I agree with you. Their bats are probably going to wake up at least a little bit relative to what they've been doing. And they might have some value in exactly spots like these going forward as a big dog.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're right. But I'm not going to take him with Keller on the mound, knowing that he can't go deep into games and worrying about that bullpen that's not very good.
Yeah. All right, and then Atlanta, San Diego, pass for me and Jim. Arizona, San Francisco, a lot of people in the comment section not too what's the word? Not too promising. They're not too what's the fucking word? My brain is shutting down, Jim. Not too high on Bumgarner's chances tonight.
Swampy?
Yeah, no. Not too high on Bumgarner's chances tonight. I'm taking him. I'm taking Bumgarner, and I took first 5 innings money line. I took the San Francisco Giants -1 line at about plus 113, and I took Arizona. So the first 5 innings team total over for San Francisco at 1.5 -134 to hit Corbin. We'll see who's right. We'll see how that one turns out, and that's it for MLB.
That's it for MLB. Gino Rono says check the lineup for the D-backs. B lineup. Mac Darwin says Dodgers Buccos might be canceled, but we know our man Twadi Latte on the ground in Pittsburgh says that the weather's going to clear up. It's going to be a nice night for baseball.
Okay.
And Parlay Poppy said the overs on team totals are wildly low on Arizona Giants.
All right, so let's quickly go to WNBA right now, and we'll just check the line movements in this game. Again, wow, it's now down to 6.5 at Heritage and Bookmaker.
Jesus.
Wow, and the Greek has 6.
Come on.
Wow.
The Greek has 6?
Yeah, there's more pressure coming in on Atlanta. Real money coming in on Atlanta here. I might be on the wrong side. I didn't give him on the full game in the morning. I gave him at -3. We'll see how it turns out. And I also gave the Atlanta team total under 78.5. So maybe if Atlanta cashes, but you know it's a much lower scoring game than anticipated. The team total under will cash. But I don't like to see this. There was a early money coming in on Atlanta, and now it appears late money coming in on Atlanta. And we know those are both sharp. When the sharp money comes in, I would call the late money sharper than the early money. But now we have both. Early money came in on Atlanta, and now more late money coming in.
And what is the money line on Atlanta?
That tells me that Atlanta might be the friggin' side here, and I might be on the wrong side. Although I did just take the first half. The money line on Atlanta is in the 250s, plus 260 at Heritage.
No, sorry, the Braves. Atlanta.
No, we're talking WNBA right now, Jim.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, sorry about that.
Jesus.
Both of our brains are running down a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. I'm talking about Atlanta against Connecticut. And by the way, sanguine. Sanguine was the word I was looking for. You know that word?
No,
That's a nice
don't.
word. It means heady. It means like excited.
Sanguine.
It's like, yeah, Bumgarner's starting tonight. He's going to be great. that means you're sanguine about his chances, his prospects tonight. But if you're not very sanguine about his chances, then it means you're like, oh no, he's going to get touched. He's going to be.
So you could say I'm not very sanguine about this WNBA segment.
Yes, you could definitely say that, Jim. Although, and I am not sanguine at all about this line movement that I'm seeing right here again. And I asked the comment section in the morning, and no one can really explain why Atlanta would be taking so much money here. Of course, Connecticut has been dominant. So anytime you see a dominant team as a big road favorite and the line headed down, you're just like, oh my God, this is just sharp play of the day. You know, sharps are all over this, and much more likely than not, they're right. Seems like Atlanta is the play here. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it works out, Jim. Let's see. Any other comments coming in that you're liking?
Ulysses Hayes saying fade Philly. I guess this is okay, yes. Tomer says I like the matchup. Connecticut has been strong defensively, and Atlanta doesn't move the ball. King Rail says Elizabeth Williams is a game-time decision for Denver. She averaged 8.6 points, 6.2 boards, 2.2 assists. Tomer says I'm still on Connecticut first half, -4.5. Got a bad line. Says the Connecticut line has been all over the place. Takes so little money to move these WNBA lines.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got -3, which is nice. Let me just quickly check to see what the first half would be now here. And
Poppy has a serious question for you.
Go ahead.
Who is the most beautiful WNBA player?
Come on, we don't objectify women every time. We can't objectify WNBA players. They're professional athletes. Give them a little bit of respect, Jim.
I find them all equally beautiful.
Yes, exactly. They're all 10s, okay? Every one of them is a friggin' 10. That's my opinion anyway.
Sure.
A 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. King Rail says people are betting that the Suns are due for a loss. Okay, but is Atlanta really the team that's going to be able to hand it to them? They just don't have the offense to be able to keep up with them for a full game. Maybe a quarter, maybe a half, but they're just lacking offensively, and Connecticut is so deep that I just don't see how that's going to happen over a full game. You know what I mean? And I don't see Connecticut as being in a down spot either. I think they're going to have an extended run of strong play unless they get hit with an injury bug and a bunch of people go out.
David H is with us, sharp capper, and does a lot of good work with WNBA. So keep an eye out for David H when he has comments on WNBA. He says line still at -7. Vivek M. Gowda says WNBA total over 165.5.
All right. Well, I took the Atlanta team total under, so we'll see how it turns out. I'm just scanning for comments here, and I guess that's about it. We're done with MLB. We're done with WNBA. Anything else we want to talk about? We could get to the playoffs, but Jimmy the Bag, you have so much time to talk about that in your other shows. You've already given your picks. Can we just quickly tell them what your picks were?
Sure.
All right. Jimmy the Bag did give the over in the Vegas game coming up 5.5 -105. He wanted to lock in that line earlier because he expects it to get bet up, and he also took the Vegas team total over, which is currently 2.5, or in the morning show is 2.5 -135 at Pinnacle. Then in the NBA series, he took Golden State -4.5 -104 in the next game. And a play that makes me a little bit nervous because it feels like the NBA is going to want to give the Cavs at least one game here. The NBA won't want to sweep. Jim did take the Warriors to sweep at +145.
Doesn't matter what the NBA wants. I don't buy into that stuff. I'm also going to be very, very interested in the Durant over in points now that he can take a breather and focus on offense with Iguodala back. So that would be the third my addition to that.
All right, and here's your comment from Kobe Valentine. Pete, manager Bob Melvin from Oakland says it's about velocity and his location, and his slider is not the best right now. Said about Sean Manaea. All right, so Sean Manaea's fundamentals, I guess, are off, and that is what's causing him to have a run of bad starts. I might be on the wrong side of that one. I might be flat out on the wrong side of that one. But that's it. Can we get to the best part of the show every day, Jim?
Absolutely.
You ready? Here we go. Our favorite part of the show and yours. Lucrative Larry's play of the day. I don't track this, but I'm told he's on a 3-game winning streak, which is unbelievable. Right there you go. Lucrative Larry coming back in a major way thanks to the edges he's finding in Korea. Lucrative Larry, what do you have for us today?
Well, look. I'm going to take the Hanwha Eagles over the LG Twins. And it's hurting me to take to fade the Twins because they gave me my first win of the streak. But it would hurt me more to lose the streak. So I'm taking them. -1, 2, 3, -1, 2, 3 at Pinnacle.
Okay. What was that? Was that another Korean baseball player?
That was a Korean
All right,
baseball player.
very
Why would he
nice.
leave?
I don't know. Maybe you get out while the getting's good. Something
Oh,
like that. I don't
Bulgogi
know.
Larry. Oh, Bulgogi Larry.
Very nice, Larry. I hope you have a fourth winner. And on that note, we'll wrap up this show. Once again, I'm going to be off for a few days, so Jim's going to be hosting the show all by himself Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday. But there's a chance I might send in notes to Jim. I might tweet out plays if I'm liking them.
Please
so
do.
if I send Jim
Please
notes,
do.
if I tweet out plays, Jim, you can address them on
I
the
would
show
like
and
to
all
address
that.
them.
Yes, I'm going to try to do that. So I'm going to be out for a few days. Jim's going to hold it down by himself.
But I need you guys.
Yes,
I need the
yes.
chat. The chat will be extremely important.
Ooh.
So please help me the next few days to hold the fort up while the legend Loshak isn't beside me.
I am beat. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Time.